Well, is it happening? What's on my mind? Say something. Well, I don't have something to. I'm trying to find you. I'm trying to find you, uh, and make you happy. Hello, it's me, Jake. It's the hump day of all hump days. It is, what is it, June 9th, Wednesday, June 9th. And it's the hump day of all hump days. It's hump day of this week. It's hump day into summer for me, for us, because I'm heading out tomorrow. It's the hump day of trailer trailer trash West Coast tour. Even though we're not in a trailer, it's just me and Lady Jerry traveling around, singing our song in our Kimbo Pants AWOL, dancing. Good for you, Keys. Ed, greetings. Joan, hello. Sister Sue, greetings to you. Wouldn't miss today for anything. Well, oh yes, it's the hump day of all hump days. Cameliers sending us off on a great trip. Yes, thank you, Rachel. Absolutely, we're heading off on a great trip. Dave, greetings. Christopher, hello. And Ouija reporting for hiding in the basement away from people asking you to do things. Well, good for you, Ouija. You finally figured it out. The basement is a safe place. That's also good for tornadoes. Get down in the basement. Happy National Earl Day. Well, isn't that nice? Bob, happy National Earl Day. That's the kind of thing I got on you to tell me, but not today. Dave's telling us that. So yeah, I'm going to gas up the truck and I'm going to go to jiu-jitsu. My final jiu-jitsu before the trip is going to be at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Then I'm going to gas up the truck and give it a quick wash. Come back here, load it up, secure the payload, then wait for our daughter to be ready to go for her COVID test at 2:30, and then blast off to Northern California. Hello, Pick. Greetings to you, David. Howdy, campers. Yes, we're getting ready to be camping. We are getting ready to be camping. Lady Jerry is having some jaw issues, and she was asking today, like, what? So what's the deal with the show? Are you going to be making us come back and do the show? And I'm happy to say that even though Jen isn't here, don't forget the anti-road rage dispensary. Yes, Ouija, absolutely. I'm supplied and ready, if you catch my drift. So Lady Jerry was concerned that we would be trying to do the show and not doing our camping duties, and that is not going to be the case. I'm going to follow Jen's suggestion, and it's going to be, for all intents and purposes, we're going to be on vacation until June 28th, and that's if hopefully there's no jury duty. If I get called in for jury duty the 28th, then that'll be another hiccup in our road. But suffice it to say, I'll post some video of us having fun to the page, or my Facebook page where you're watching the show, the Jake Johannsen Facebook page if you're listening on the podcast. I'll post some video to there. I will also, if it turns out that by some crazy chance at 3 p.m. we're someplace where there's Wi-Fi and it is convenient and possible, I'll do the show. So that is a pure if, and you're under no obligation to be present or expect that will happen. But if it does happen, that's when it'll happen live, is at 3 p.m. during the week. And even if that doesn't happen, I'll post some video to the page of our trip and maybe answer any special greetings that anybody has or requests to the Facebook group, if you're in the Facebook group. All right, there we go. What are you saying here, David? Your son's final high school baseball season is over. Oh, yeah, our daughter's basketball season is over. Looking forward to attending the briefing more regularly again once I'm back from camping. Yes, well, that'll be great for me as well. Ouija, it's a shame they don't have video the jury deliberation with Jake on as the foreperson. Yeah, well, if I get on that jury, I'm going to try and get to be the foreperson. I've already done my prep yesterday, so I'm not allowed to talk about the case during the case, but at this point, there's no case, so I can talk about the hypothetical case prior to the case. And I can also tell you that if I get on the jury, do I want to be the foreperson? I don't. I think I want to, but I don't think it's a good idea. He thought Jen was going to be the guest host in my absence. Well, Bob, That'll be great for if Jen starts her own show during my absence. That'll be fun for me to watch. Please post in the briefing to let me know that that's happening. Dave, man, your Facebook is being a real butterdick today. Yeah, well, that's one of the problems with the Book of Faces. Feels like it'll be like Houdini seance. We'll show up at 3 p.m. and see if the Jake spirit is present. Yeah, well, when you think about it, you guys could probably figure out a way to do this without me, but that would be sad. Jen, you've hosted charity events. Okay, so the daily briefing will be a charity event in my absence then. Just passing along that if you end up going through Florence, Oregon on the coast, Moe's Seafood is a great landmark restaurant not to be missed. Thank you. Rachel, I'm writing this down. Moe's Seafood in Florence, Oregon. I'm writing it down. And this is the sound of me writing it down. If you're listening to the audio podcast, I hope that you enjoyed getting yourself a beer right now. Don't know when you're leaving, but have fun and safe travels. You'll be gone a while yourself, Todd. Yeah, we're leaving tomorrow afternoon. I should have someone here manning the farm while I'm gone, but they won't be doing the show. Good decision on taking a break for the vacay pick. You're saying feel better knowing that I'm relaxing, looking forward to my videos. Oh, well, that's nice of you. Thank you. Cindy, record high for the week in La Crosse, Wisconsin. High 90s and very little rain. Oh, that does sound, that's hot. That is hot. I'm hoping that it's not going to be that hot for us going up the coast. But then again, you get what you get, and you don't get upset when you're camping with Lady Jerry in the back of the pickup truck. So we're very excited. I haven't done the pre-loading the back of the truck yet, but I've got everything out, and I know it's going to fit, and everything's going to be great. If you could only compete in an Olympic event, if you could compete in any Olympic event, which would it be? If I could compete in any Olympic event, well, is this I've got to train up for it, or just we're assuming that I know how to do it? I think my daredevil days are behind me, but that ski jumping, we used to go see, they had a 90-meter ski jump near where we lived in La Crosse, Wisconsin. Cindy can vouch for that, and that ski jumping is pretty cool, but I don't think I could do ski jumping. I guess it would be some kind of skiing thing, or would it be wrestling? Would I try and train to be wrestling? It'd have to be younger me, not old me. Karate? Bob, karate's not an Olympic sport yet, is it? Jen, you're saying you're happy getting out and relaxing fun. My mood has been dicey the last month. You need this. Yes, Jen, thank you for saying that. I think that you're right. My mood has been dicey. My re-entering of post-pandemic society has not been smooth, and let's face it, it's all still ongoing. Bob, you're traveling in your Prius, so space is at a premium. You've already done 2 trial packings just to see if everything will fit. Yeah, well, I think we're lucky that everything will fit, but we're trying not to overload the Kimbo before we get the Kimbo. Shuffleboard, Hugh, I like it. I don't think shuffleboard is in the Olympics either, but that's kind of my speed right now too. Keith, you're heading north to beat the heat of Florida. Yeah, get out of there. Get out of there while you still can. I was talking to my mom today. She's going in for a little bit of a surgery tomorrow. I guess minor, but she was telling me that the water there is already in the higher 70s, the ocean temperature, Wilmington, North Carolina. So it's heading into hurricane season. And I don't know that I'm not excited about hurricane season, but Jazz Fest is happening in October, and I am making tentative plans to head down there for Jazz Fest in October in New Orleans, and that is in still hurricane season. Technically, I believe that to be the case. Don't come to Wisconsin, you're saying, Cindy to Keith. Yeah, Wisconsin. Yeah, I think it's going to be hard to beat the heat this summer. 91, it feels like 100 keys. Hot. Rich, you were happy Sunday when the Blue Jays game here, went to the Blue Jays game and sat in the vaccine section. I love that there's a vaccine section, Rich. That's interesting. Vaccinated section. Nice to be around other people. Nice to be around other people who are vaccinated also. My feeling, Ed's saying, is that all the roads near and around national parks will be slow going with all these first-time RV drivers. Well, maybe, Ed. You know what? I feel like when you're trying to decide what you're doing, it's a good idea to think about what other people might be doing. But once you know what you're doing, I'm trying not to get into kind of speculation about what's going to be terrible about it, because that's not even in the Seize the Day. But I think it's not a good use of your time. But yeah, it may be crowded in some of the parks we're in. There may be some ass pains. Luckily, when you've got your house on your back like a turtle, you just go somewhere else. if the assholes are thick on the ground, go to a place where they're thin. You're heading to Wisconsin, Keith. Well, great. Don't let Cindy set you back. You know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. She doesn't know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. Going to the lakeside cabin up north next week. Always a little cooler near the water. Cindy, yeah, my parents, Sue and my parents, my sister and I had the same parents. Go figure. Had a cabin up in Chetek, Wisconsin, and I think I visited it. I visited their cabin one time, and this happened after I was a grown man, kind of a grown man. I'm not embracing the idea that I'm a grown man, but we would go up to Chetek when I was a little man, a little child boy, and catch frogs and go fishing. But it's beautiful up there. Ed, you're saying slow is fine, just need to assume that Google's drive time estimates might be a bit optimistic. Yeah, I always assume. There's the Jake factor. My philosophy when I'm driving now is I'll try and go with traffic, but if it's uncomfortably fast, I just move over, go my own speed, kind of maintain my distance, try not to be a hazard to the other drivers, but I let them just flow past me. I don't have an ego about that. I'm gonna get there eventually. Cindy, you're saying Chetek is one of your favorite places. Yeah, it's a pretty place. There's so many pretty places in Wisconsin. Keith, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. So yeah, I didn't really think about what else can we talk about here. I guess I can look back on the time doing the daily briefing has been great during the pandemic, in a way. Although as we're coming out of it, I'm looking forward to going back and being able to do some of the things that I haven't been able to do. So I'm very excited about the possibility of going back to do stand-up. And I'm also going to be thinking during this sabbatical about other things that I might do in terms of ways to kind of make the daily briefing a little bit better in terms of making it more of a show, or also with the idea of writing a book. I'm reading a book now by Suleika Jouad about her battle with cancer, and I can't say that I'm really loving it, although she is to write about the ordeal that she went through is very interesting. And I got put on to this book by reading a review of it in the New York Times, and then also I signed up for her journal prompts that she sends out once a week of things that you could be writing in your journal. So I'm thinking about maybe embarking on some kind of writing project when I get back. The books that I'm going to be bringing with me on the road are Michael Collins' Catching the Fire, I think is what it's called. It's his book about being on that first Apollo landing mission with Buzz Aldrin and Neil Armstrong. He was one in the capsule. I'm going to read his book on this trip, and I'm also going to read this book called House of Leaves, I think it is, and it's sort of a horror compilation book, found materials book. It's like the Blair Witch Project, sort of, but a book-ish experience. So I've got those two books. Jen, I don't know if you've read House of Leaves, but I'm looking forward to reading that. Going to scare the crap out of myself out in the woods. That's what I'm hoping. Okay, here, where are we at? Oh, Dave, you're saying the Facebook comments are janky. Should get a decal for the camper that says State Police Radar Unit number 6. I'm down for that, Ouija. I don't know where to get that. But I do have a jiu-jitsu decal that I might put on there. DJ Slayton Airfest is here this weekend, Cindy's saying. Blue Angels main attraction. So fun watching them perform. Yeah, the Blue Angels air shows are exciting, but also dangerous. I don't think I'd like. If that's an Olympic event. I don't even think I want to. I'm a little anyway. I'm not afraid of it. But David, what would you hope to do when going back to stand up? Any thoughts or plans? What would I hope to do? I'd like to go back and visit the clubs that have been good to me for the past few years. You know, the Denver Comedy Works. I want to go back there. I want to go back to Acme in Minneapolis, which is where I did my last shows before the pandemic. I want to go back to Zanies in Chicago and Rosemont. I'd like to go back to Laughs in Seattle. The Tacoma Comedy Club I'd like to get back to, and I'd like to be back at the Punchline in San Francisco, and sort of wherever else. What if there's a club that opens in Austin? I know Cap Cities is closed, but if they reopen, I'd like to go back to Austin, Texas. And then beyond that, anywhere where it seems like fun. But I think I might be into doing a different type of a weekend gig. Those places I would do the regular gig if that's what they wanted to have me do. But I'd like to also consider the possibility of just doing a few shows, or maybe the early shows on the weekend. I don't know what's possible. And then this Suleika Jawad, her book that I've been reading, she goes on this tour where she travels around the country and visits all the people who wrote her, not all of them, but selected people who wrote her when she was battling with cancer. And that sounds interesting to me. When I was reading the book or listening to it the other day, I was thinking, oh, it might be fun for Jake Fests, sort of a Jake Fest idea, to go out and select people who've been watching the Daily Briefing all this time. There's a lot of them, but I think I could make a selected group and go and visit the places where they live and try and do some little show that would be a bring your friends kind of a thing. Maybe something like that. But those are a few of the ideas that I've had, and we'll see. We'll see if any of those things happen. Hey, for all I know, I'm gonna get in this camper and never come back. Went out for cigarettes and never came back, like in The River, Bruce Springsteen. Michael, you're saying the briefing has been a voice of sanity during the Verina season. Thank you so much for that, Michael. I like that. You need something good to stream, Keys. Have you streamed Back to the Lake on Netflix? It's in Russian. Highly recommend it. To the Lake. I think it's To the Lake, not Back to the Lake. To the Lake. And if you're into spooky murder, we've been watching Serpent on Netflix, and that is some grimy. What's the book called again? Jen's asking. House of Leaves. House of Leaves. I'll take a picture of it and put it in the group chat so you can see that. If you want to read a true adventure book, River of Doubt, about Teddy Roosevelt's last trip to the Amazon, is terrific. I bet that is. Okay, I'm into that. I like Teddy Roosevelt. I bought his, this giant biography, but I had a hard time getting into it. It's very dense. It begins with he gets shot and he goes ahead and makes an hour-and-a-half long speech. Has the Dallas Improv been good to me, Jen? It has, but I'm not sure that they're interested in having me back during the current time. But I've always enjoyed the Dallas Improv. But maybe under this new circumstances of how I might like to go and do a show, that we might be able to figure something else. Christopher, you're saying House of Leaves is amazing, more a piece of art than a novel, one of your favorites. Oh, well, awesome. There's this ringing endorsement. I'm happy with my choice. You should say Deke Slayton, the astronaut from Sparta, Wisconsin. Okay, I got you now, Cindy. Seattle would be cool. Short 3-hour and 10-minute nap with your seat in its upright lock position, Ouija. Yeah, well, look, let's not give up on this Alaska dream idea of yours and mine that I share with you. It's just that I think it may be ambitious for me to try and get up there this summer, so that may be a next summer thing. Keys, you're saying Cap City said they'll be opening in the Domain area, or what some of you call South South Dallas. Well, yeah, we'll see. Did all those clubs survive COVID? All of the ones that I just mentioned did, as far as I know. Damien, thank you for asking. You were impressed that the Comedy Store is requiring proof of vaccination to attend a show. I think the Improv is doing that here in LA too. They want proof of vaccination, at least for right now. We'll see. Our California opens up June 15th, and I think after that maybe a little bit different. You checked Zanies in Chicago, where you'll be in a couple of weeks, but it doesn't look like they're checking for vaccines. I don't know if they're checking for vaccines, Ed, but if you're looking, the downtown Zanies on Wells Street in Chicago is a highly recommend. It's been there forever. The walls are covered with 8x10s of all the comedians, going back to the 80s and before. And it's just is a great place to see a show, the Zanies in Chicago. And it's I highly recommend. The Zanies in Rosemont is a new club, but it's also a great place to see a show. So either one of those is terrific. And the Zanies in Rosemont is a little more spacious if you're concerned about being in a confined space. But if you're vaccinated and you're not afraid, and I don't think you need to be afraid if you're vaccinated, I highly recommend the Zanies on Wells Street in Chicago. There's not a lot of places from that era with that patina and soul left. And so highly recommend. I don't think I can give a higher recommend than that. Raul Sanchez says he thinks Cap City is opening back up. It's his home club. Okay, well, that's good. Would my schedule increase or decrease from normal? How would this time off impact you going forward, Dave? Well, I think my schedule is probably going to, if I had to say, the best I could hope for was for it to stay the same. If I can figure out a new way of going on the road, maybe doing more satisfying, less financially lucrative shows, depending on attendance, of course. I mean, it's not too late to rule out the possibility that I might become a cult favorite and and get out there and clean up. I would say it would be a little bit less daunting than usual. And so, but it's hard to know how the pandemic is going to affect the economic stability of comedy clubs or their business model going forward. Is Jake Fest going to be in Austin? Jen, I don't know. Jake Fest. I was hoping that you guys were going to collab. Maybe Jen, when you're hosting your version of the sabbatical show, you can collaborate with some of the other Daily Briefing fans in the chat and help me figure out where to do Jake Fest, because the real problem is going to be if it is an actual thing, I'd like to do it where we have the best turnout. Carol, you're late. Yo, good to see you. I was just in case you didn't realize from the last couple days, today's going to be the last show for the Daily Briefing until June 28th, although there may be some surprise daily briefings in there at 3 p.m. if it turns out that I'm around, and it's possible. And I'll definitely be posting some videos of our trip that you can watch at your convenience. Jen, you're saying getting out of character. It's highly possible this show saved your life. Well, oh my God, with all that's happened to you this year, this has been a wonderful, funny constant. Yes, well, thank you, Jen. And I'm so happy that you and all of our friends are still with us and continue to be with us. I'm so touched. Thank you for saying that. Cleveland's still waiting for me. Carol, I forgot to say Cleveland. I definitely want to come back to Hilarities of Pickwick and Frolic. That was just a brain fart on my part. I love Hilarities, and I was scheduled there just before. I was scheduled there the week after we went into lockdown, so that's on my list. Yes. Sorry, that was oversight on my part. Rich, you're saying Teddy Roosevelt was inaugurated in a house down the street from your high school. McKinley died in a house that was torn down and is now part of the math wing at your high school. Wow. Rich, you've got a lot of exciting things. Cindy, why are you seeing some, not everyone's posts, only some? Well, Facebook keeps changing their stupid algorithm, but for me, when I'm going back and watching, you can choose between most relevant comments or all comments, and so I don't know if that's optional while you're doing it. Um, anyway, um, Cindy, you're saying you saw me in Cleveland a few years ago. Front row table, so much fun. Yeah, that's a great club. I should say, as much as I love Zanies, for all the reasons that I said before, I love Pickwick and Frolic and Hilarities in Cleveland, because what Nick Costas, the owner there, has done is he's just created this beautiful state of the art comedy theater showroom, and then it's attached to a delicious uh, restaurant, an amazing martini bar. So you get there. What I would recommend is you watch the early show and then have dinner in the restaurant afterwards. And they used to have a show, or in the past they've had other shows, like a floor show, in a little venue that's outside of the main comedy showroom. So you can really spend a whole evening there, and it's so great. So there's my recommendation for there. Ed, Zanies on Wells was your first comedy club. Oh, started going there in the 80s. Well, there you go. You know about Zanies. Richard Lewis, Emo Phillips. Yeah, there you go. You know about everything that I'm saying then. Calling Facebook customer service right now. Stand by. Thanks, Dave. Let me know how that goes. Um, are you saying I'm a cult leader, Bob? Well, that's very sweet. I haven't even brought it up with my wife, but the good news is, for all the cult members out there, I'm only having sex with my wife, so that the pressure is off for that. And how you were thinking about how you might have to reject me, but it's not going to have to. It's not going to have to happen. Thanks for these and your diligence, Charlie. Thank you for that, and thank you, Dave, for your words of gratitude. A lot of people talk the talk, but I take it to the mat, Michael. I think you're talking about me. That's great. Keys of the show saved your pants, but a lot of good they do. You don't even wear them. Cindy, you're eating your jambalaya in front of the computer. Man, I wish I had some jambalaya. Oh, gonna get that. That's on my to-do list for down in New Orleans. Ed, you're saying having these shows to be live every day was an amazing accomplishment. I don't know anyone else that has done this. Thank you, Ed. Yeah, well, I did it. We did it. I can't tell sometimes when I think about the daily briefing, or people say, oh, I remember you were doing those shows at the beginning of the pandemic, and then I say, oh yeah, I'm still doing them. I can't tell if that's a sign of my stick-to-itiveness and professionalism and creativity, which is like what I would like to believe, or my pathetic, foolhardy refusal to give up. But I'm not giving up. Believe me that. There'll be plenty of time to do that later. It's a straight jacket today? I don't understand what that means, Dave. Shouldn't I do a longer show today, since it'll be eons before you see me again? Well, I'm doing one. That's already happened a little bit. It's longer than yesterday. Dave, you're saying the daily briefings, you've laughed, you've cried, and they made you drink. Well, that's called enabling, and it's one of my side hustles. What's everyone eating tonight? Whataburger for you, with bun, carbs removed. With bun / carbs removed. Wow, Jen. Well, daily briefing is wheelchair accessible. I'm here every day in a wheelchair. Bud Light seltzers, Dave, delicious. All right. Well, yeah, we could. Well, it has been a little bit extra longer show. I don't know how. Let's take the book of questions out of timeout. Let's ask Mr. Predicto. Let's take it. All right. Sad news, everyone. The fart machine is permanently disabled. So I'm without a fart machine until further notice. Sad. Hashtag sad. And if Mr. Predicto, should I ask a question from the book of questions?
The outcome cannot be predicted.
Yeah, well, you can't predict it. I'm doing it. Book of questions. This is a little tricky. What Well, let's go early in the book of questions. Would you be willing to become extremely ugly physically if it meant you would live for 1,000 years at any physical age you choose? Oh, well, that's tricky, right? So if I choose to live for 1,000 years at the age of 25, but I'm unusually ugly, well, this is the other problem. Then you would eventually become famous as the guy who could live that long. It doesn't have to do with the ugly thing, but it's like I'm not sure I want to live for 1,000 years. That's a long ass time. Think of all the people who you would love and lose in that time. It would be tough. I mean, I know that that's what's tough about living to be 100 years old, the amount of people that you love and lose. So I think an extremely long life, I suppose you'd be sad at the end of it, even if it was 1,000 years, or maybe especially if it was 1,000 years. But I know plenty of people who get to their hundreds. But if you're healthy the whole time, maybe you're not sick of it. But it's just the amount of stuff that you just have to keep figuring out all the time. Just the pace of figuring things out at this age has been a little relentless. So I don't think, and also extremely ugly. I'm not doing it. I'm not taking you up on that book of questions. Thank you for asking, and way to keep it creepy. What if you're not so good looking now, Dave? I know, it's tricky. While we're sitting around the campfire, Keys is asking, is there any chance we'd light our farts? I don't think so, although I've never tried that. And it is the kind of thing that I'm not too old to have a go at. So we'll see. Rich, yes, thank you for the well wishes. We will try and have a great trip, and I'll be back with a daily briefing end of June. Jen, you officially lost 80 pounds. Holy, congratulations. That is very impressive. And congratulations on your efforts. Carol, you're saying no, you don't even like aging, let alone being ugly. Well, according to the question book, you can live to be 1,000, but you don't age. You're going to be the same age of your choosing the whole time. Ed, what are you saying? You often try and do a two for Zanies before or after Second City. Yeah, that's a good idea. And then there's that bar around the corner. I can't remember if it's the Old Time Tap or whatever it is around the corner from Zanies. That's where Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd used to drink in the Second City days. I think that's an awesome place to go get a drink. Thought it was just you, but the commentary is extremely censored. Where's the conspiracy book now? Yeah, Michael, we're not doing the conspiracy book today because it's the farewell day, but it's right here. Don't worry, I haven't lost the conspiracy book. Yeah, congratulations all around, Jen. Well done. You are really going to be tearing up the rug at the dance party at Jake Fest. I'm excited about that. Your girlfriend burned her ass lighting farts, gas trapped in tight pants. Yes. When you're lighting farts, it's important to be wearing the right pants. And any kind of polyester or space age fabric is a no-no. I think you want to be wearing all cotton jeans if possible. And if you're doing it pantsless, Keys, you watch out, because there's nothing worse than burning butt hair. Well, maybe there is, but I don't know what it is. All right, we're going to be gone on our hiatus and camping trip for a while. But I'll be thinking of you guys. I'll be posting here on the Facebook page. I'll be checking the group chats for the show, and there may be a sneaky live one at 3 o'clock time or two on our trip. But I want you guys, meanwhile, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. Try and be nice to some jerks. Don't give up. There'll be plenty of time to give up later. And don't forget, it's time now for Seize the Day. Did you think I forgot Seize the Day? I did not forget Seize the Day. We're going to do Seize the Day. It's time for Seize the Day. Here we go. Today's Seize the Day from Seize the Day 6 is, let's have a little, I should have maybe gone in here and picked picked an amazing ones. Oh, well, I like this one. This is from Ivan Nuru. Ivan Nuru. Today seize the day to send us on our way for our trip. If it's out of your hands, it deserves freedom from your mind too. So if you can't control it, there's no point worrying about it. Worry about the stuff that's within your control, and the stuff that's out of your control, let it go. So again, and don't give up. There'll be time to give up later. I'm thinking of you guys. We got each other through the pandemic so far. I'm very excited about this trip and what's in store for us for the rest of the year and next year. So take care. Thank you for all your well wishes today, and I'll see you on the flip side, as they say. Meanwhile, shiny side up, rubber side down. Oh my God. I have never gotten to say that in sincerity before. So that's what I'm going to do. See you soon. Love to love you.